do I have a story for you guys. A couple weeks ago, I finally got my acceptance registration letter. I'm not sure, not like I'm going to college, but I got my acceptance letters for Comic-Con Press. So yay! I'm going to Comic-Con in lieu of my acceptance into Comic-Con as a press outlet. I kind of want to take a trip down memory lane with Comic-Con. My first ever fangirl experience was Comic-Con in 2009. Comic-Con 2009. New Moon was there, and I was just an infant. I was 15 years old, and I had never done anything like this before. I was obsessed with Twilight. I mean, like, who wasn't obsessed with Twilight at that age? Everyone was reading the books. This was the summertime before New Moon came out in November, and they were going in to film Eclipse, and everyone was just like so intensely into the movies and the books. So in my little mind, I'm like, I need to go to Comic-Con. I want to meet these people. This all stemmed from watching the Twilight footage from the year before. The cast still says that their favorite experience was their first Comic-Con. And I'm like, I need to go, okay? Well, this was before Comic-Con got incredibly crazy, and I had no idea what it was. I didn't know like major studios showed huge movies at Comic-Con. I didn't know about the floor where you just like get a bunch of free stuff. I didn't know about that. All I cared about was Twilight. I just wanted to see Robert Pattinson. I wanted to see, you know, Ashley Greene. I just wanted to see all those people in real life. I was just going for the panel. I wasn't even going to meet them. Right now, Comic-Con is like a huge just phenomenon, and you can barely get tickets. I did this so secretly. I didn't tell my parents. I used my dad's credit card. I didn't tell anybody until like a month before. I'm like, hey, Mom, do you want to go to Comic-Con? Wait, what's Comic-Con? I'm like, well, it's like this convention, and like the cast of New Moon's gonna be there, and I can't return the tickets, and we can't not go, or else something happens and like our names get put on the bad list, something like that, blah blah blah. So I made it like this huge story to get my mom to go with me because I was 15, you know, I couldn't drive. I didn't have any friends who drove. I just remember when I bought the tickets, they were only $20 a day. No, were they 12? Were they $12? Oh, no, they were only like $15. Is that crazy? Single tickets were only $15, and a 4-day pass was $100. Nowadays, it's freaking expensive. So the day comes for my mom and I to go down to San Diego. We woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning so that we can get ready and so that we could go. My mom wasn't in the best of health, so this was a struggle for her to go. We get to Comic-Con, we figure out the whole mess that was registration to get your badge. My badge from 2009. Oh my gosh, I still have it. My mother and I didn't realize how big of a convention this was. So we were taking our little time. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, like figured out, okay, the panel's at like 1:20. We don't need to be in line for a while. Wrong. Even back then, it was still huge. Okay, so taking our time, kept asking people where the line for Hall H is. If you guys don't know what Hall H is where they hold the huge panels. If you've ever heard of Comic-Con, you probably have heard of Hall H. And if you've ever seen a big movie panel, it's probably been in Hall H. And it seats about 5,000 people at once. I'm on the go. I want to get in line. I need to get in line so I know that I have a place secured for the panel at like 2 o'clock. My mother, God bless her, and I still thank her to this day for taking me. She's just one of the slowest people. She's very slow. She walks slow, and I'm just like, come on, Mom, come on, let's go, let's go. She was getting just so mad at me just that whole day, and it was hot, and we were sweating. I tried to say some funny things to her to get it going, and like one of her favorite lines is from The Devil Wears Prada. I'm like, you're moving at a glacial pace. Hurry up, woman. Finally, we get around the corner of the convention center, and we see this short little line. Like, oh, this isn't that bad for Hall H. We're gonna get in the front row. Wrong. The line is stretched out. It zigzags all the way on like this grassy knoll, goes across the street, then it goes all the way down to like the shore, like the bay that they have in front of the convention center, and it's wrapped around all the way there. We were pretty much at the back of that line. People had camped out that night, and we probably got in line around 10 o'clock in the morning. I think it took about 20 minutes to find the end of the line. As soon as I stepped in the line, I was like, we're never gonna get in! We came here for nothing! My poor little fangirl heart, I wasn't in the best of moods, and my mother wasn't helping either with her complaining. 2 hours rolls around, it's like noon. People kept telling us, oh, you're not gonna get in for Twilight, just give up now. Another hour rolls around. You're not gonna get into Twilight. Like, it's not gonna happen, guys. Just get out of the line. And then 30 minutes before the panel starts, still kept telling us you're not gonna get in. By this time, I was in full-on hysterics. If any of you guys were Twilight fans at that age, you know, it was a huge deal. Twilight took over my life. And this was the first event I had ever been to.
I just wanted to see Robert Pattinson. I just wanted to see him.
I still remember just being so sad that I knew I came all the way down to San Diego and my mother was gonna be so mad at me if we didn't get in. But, whew, we got in. We got into the panel. It was like 10 minutes before it started and they rushed everybody in that they could. Here's the problem. Here's the problem when they rushed everyone into Hall H. There was a panel going on. The Summit panel hadn't started. It was, I can't even remember the panel what it was, but the room was completely pitch dark. You couldn't see anything because they were playing a trailer for some movie that I don't remember. This was a huge problem because you couldn't see where you're walking. Anyone who's in the way, you bumped into them. Back again with my mother. She was walking behind me holding onto my shirt. We come up to an aisle that I want to turn right at. I want to be in the middle. I want to be in front. And that was my mindset. I didn't care about anything else. Wanted to be in the front. Kind of forgetting about my mother and her a bit of a disability behind me. I turn the corner, I feel something on the ground, and I step over it. Forgetting about my mother. As soon as I step over it and walk a couple paces forward, I feel a hand slowly going down my back. In my mind, I'm like, what the heck? Who is touching me in my back? It started touching my butt and going down my legs. Turn around. I see my mother on the ground holding a backpack and rocking it. These people who were in the front had obviously camped out and left all their shit in front of their seats. My mother tripped and fell on the ground and thought this backpack was a child and that she had squashed it to death. In my mind, I'm thinking, Mom, why are you on the ground? We need to get up, we need to find seats. Twilight is happening in 5 minutes. I'm yelling at her on the ground. I'm like, get up right now, get up! I hadn't recognized that she had fallen down and thought she had killed a child. My mind was just Twilight. Didn't care if my mom was hurt. Didn't care. Pulled her off the ground and the people on the seats were just laughing at her. A couple minutes later, we found 2 seats right in the middle. They weren't really in front. We were actually kind of towards the back. And it was just like a godsend. Like, oh! These seats are really, really close to each other. And my mother was carrying her big-ass Louis Vuitton bag. We start making our way into the row. And my mom, her bag just hits everybody on the back of the head. Boom, 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 all the way down. Nope, she didn't know. We took our seats and we waited for Twilight. I really didn't get any footage from that day. I didn't know what I was doing, okay? Let's just remember this. What basically I did the entire time Twilight was on stage. When they announced the cast, it was just full-on screaming mode. I don't think I will ever fangirl like that ever again. Let's just remember, I was 15, I was an infant stage of fangirlism. When Rob Pattinson said anything. Oh, and then they showed footage from New Moon. Oh, did I feel special. No one had ever seen this footage, and I was in a room full of 5,000 people, not thinking that everyone else was seeing it as well. I felt so special. I'll save you the rest of my fangirl screaming. I just screamed the whole panel, that was it. After the panel ended, You know, it's like the middle of the day. I needed to meet them. I didn't do any type of research for this panel. I didn't know if they were doing a signing. Well, some lady told me that they were doing this like screening for the first Twilight at a theater like down the street. The tickets were all sold out, like the $10 movie tickets that you could buy. Once we got out of that panel, there were people actually scalping tickets for this movie. The tickets were like $75 each. Like $75. My mom actually paid for me to go see this. So we left Comic-Con. That's all I did. Didn't take advantage of anything else. Nope. Just Twilight. We get to this movie theater in the Gaslamp district of San Diego. And of course there's another huge line. Wait in that line for like 3-4 hours. Finally, when it was our turn, we were all in the lobby and they had all like corralled us in the lobby so that we could see them all coming down. Everybody was there. Like I remember, like even Jamie Campbell Bower. That was like the first time I'd ever seen him, and it's so funny because he's, you know, Jace. The Twilight stars, they're closer to me now. They're much closer. And they're coming down these escalators. My mom's behind me again. My mom's behind me. Nothing was gonna get in my way of seeing them close. We were like in the middle of this mosh pit. When they start going up the escalators, I was like, no! I knocked over my mom. I knocked her over. She fell down again. Fortunately, she told me later on that some nice fellow like caught her on her way down to the floor, and he was like, it's okay, my sister's like the same way. I was like a monster, like literally I was just like a fangirl monster. Trying to take pictures. I wasn't taking pictures of the cast. Nope. I was taking pictures of the ceiling, the wall, the ground. I didn't get one picture of the cast. So then they go up one escalator, and then they had to turn around and they go up another escalator, and I just remember my mom, Natasha, get over there! Now she was helping me. She didn't care she was knocked over. I monster myself through the other part of the lobby, ceiling, wall, ground, not the cast. These pictures I was taking, nope. It was like Robert Pattinson and Kellen Lutz and just like Nikki Reed, like just everybody was there, and Michelle Lefebvre, and I'm just like, oh my god! Yeah. So after we were moved out of the mosh pit and into the hallways to go into our theater, here comes more Twilight stars coming from a different theater. I didn't freak out this time. It was actually kind of cool. I think it was like Peter Facinelli had walked past. I didn't say one thing. Then we got seated into our theater, and everyone's like saying, oh, they're gonna come into the movie theater. The Twilight stars all came into like the front of the theater. They all were lined up there, didn't ask a question, didn't take the chance, you know, after my full-on monster fangirlism. Then, as they were leaving, my mother had persuaded me to take out my new Moon book and go get it signed. The first signature I've ever gotten was from Kellen Lutz. It's really funny now because we know each other pretty well now. And the second signature I got was from Nikki Reed. This is my Nikki Reed signature, the first one ever, from 5 years ago. And then my Kellen Lutz signature. I was a happy fangirl. Very happy fangirl. I just remember coming home and just like wanting to tell everybody because everyone thought I was so cool.
Because I got to meet the Twilight stars.
It's so funny now because I was a huge Twilight fangirl, like humongous. First of all the events were so accessible to me because I live in California. After Comic-Con, I went to basically everything I could. My mother did not go with me anymore. I had to find somebody else because she did not want to live that experience again. Twilight just became just the most amazing experience of my life so far, and I will always look back on it with happy memories. I'm very excited for this summer, and I cannot wait to go back and just do it the right way this time. I hope you guys enjoyed my walk down memory lane with Comic-Con. If you guys have any crazy fangirl stories that you look back on either with love or with embarrassment, please share your stories down below. I would love to hear them. If you guys are going to Comic-Con, let me know. Also, an announcement, the website that I am an administrator on, page2premiere.com, we are going to start this new thing. We're going to do a live show on the YouTube page, Page to Premiere. We're going to do it probably weekly or bi-weekly, not sure, and we're gonna have different booktubers on, and it's just gonna be so much fun. And we're not gonna be talking about books, we're gonna be talking about books and movie adaptations, of course. Make sure to subscribe to Page Premiere's channel so that you know when our live shows will be at, and they'll probably be on Saturdays around 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that's like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe so that you don't miss any of my Comic-Con madness from this year. I will see you guys all in the future. Bye everybody! What my... No. There's a bug. There's a bug.
Trying to keep it in, heaven knows I try.